Oh shit, I forgot what I was supposed to say when I started.
Alright, listen up, motherfucker! Your month is over!
If you're questioning why I'm using my green screen today, if you haven't watched this video in its entirety, you are SOL. So I really wanted to challenge myself with this episode. I already knew I wanted to do Sonic Underground, but I wanted to get it finished at a reasonable time. So I figured in order to get this video done quickly, I had to get rid of all social media. I deleted everything off my phone, even Discord. I don't even use Discord. No one talks to me on Discord. That was just a joke, don't take that serious. In all seriousness, I wanted to take a break from social media, not only for my mental health, but just to get stuff done. At the time of recording, I'm still off social media, and for the most part, I'm doing pretty good. I wanted to focus more on my self-confidence, so I decided to take more pictures, which I have yet to post because of, you know, I got rid of social media. You get the fucking point. I will say, this shit kind of sucks sometimes because I got nothing to help me wake up in the morning. Now I gotta watch dated memes and shit.
Hold on, ma'am. Now look here, you snag mouth motherfucker.
Okay, this is the review, not a reflection video, Tim.
Okay, so I remember very little about Sonic Underground from when I was a kid. I remember the theme song, of course, but before this video, I couldn't tell you a thing that happened in the show. Funny enough, the theme song is what made me want to make a video on this show, so that's why we're here today. Sonic Underground was released from August 1999 to October 1999. Yeah, the show only lasted one season with 40 episodes, mainly due to its low popularity. Anyways, the show was produced by Deke.
That's not how you pronounce it.
The show was made with the intent to boost sales for Sonic Adventure, so people would buy Sega's console at the time, the Sega Dreamcast. So they started production on Sonic Underground in 1997. Development for Sonic Underground was a mess. The show was originally intended to have a storyline that carried the rest of the episodes, but they didn't have enough time to do so, so instead they had no choice but to do 3-parters for the pilot. They didn't even have storyboards done, they just went off the script, which I can only imagine how much of a pain that might have been. And to make things worse, this show didn't do shit for the Dreamcast. Now, over the years, I haven't heard that much about the show. Occasionally, you'll hear somebody sing the theme song, but that's about it. So it made me think, is Sonic Underground an underrated classic, or at least misunderstood? Well, from the look on my face, you can tell we're in for a treat. So without further ado, let's watch some Sonic Underground. Man, I don't want to watch no damn Sonic Underground.
Made it real, now I'm living the dream. Now everybody wanna play for the team. Fat Joe off the spliff on my lane. Spike Lee, I cut you out of the scene.
I sat through 40 of these episodes, dude.
So to no surprise, one of the main characters of the show is Sonic, voiced by Jaleel White once again. They never outright say he's the leader of the Resistance, but he's the leader. He's the carefree character we've come to expect from Sonic. But in this show, it's kinda different. Instead of being likable, he's annoying in some cases. Especially since he's not a team player most of the time. Now yes, I know that Sonic has a cocky personality and has those moments to where it seems like he doesn't care, but he always knows when to tone it down a bit. Something that this Sonic doesn't know. He consistently leaves his teammates behind and leaves them with the heavy lifting. Sonic being arrogant isn't uncommon. As a matter of fact, in the new Sonic Colors animated series, Sonic's characterization is perfect. He's arrogant, but he knows when to get the job done.
Well, the direct translation was a little dry, okay? I'm just spicing it up.
Sonic, are you listening?
Yeah. The only part I didn't hear was where I can find these creeps and aggressively recycle them.
I'm not a fan of this Sonic, honestly. All he does is say corny one-liners and dips. Sonya is Sonic's sister, and her voice annoyed the shit out of me. I was so annoyed that I wanted to see who voiced her. One day while I was looking at the credits, I found out that not only does Jaleel White voices Sonic, he voices Sonic's other siblings as well. No wonder this is annoying. This is just Jaleel White doing a high-pitched Urkel voice.
Not just okay. Thanks to me, a bad guy's out of commission. Damn.
Nigga, can you shut up?
Sonya was alright. She's the only member of the team that has common sense, but she complains too much about her getting dirty, so there's not much to talk about here. Manic is just Sonic but green. He copies the way Sonic talks, so truly you can't really separate the two. I will say Manic gives me one of my favorite episodes on the show, so I'll give him that.
Wait! Where's the maid? I like my breakfast now.
Definitely trouble.
Now it's time for the people who took over the world. First we have Robotnik, and oh man, look at this design.
How low the mighty have fallen.
It ain't that bad, but I just wanted to play that clip.
Robotnik isn't as menacing as the show makes him out to be. You'd expect the guy who took over the world to be more intimidating, but he's not all that good. His roboticizing machine is cool. It's basically what he does in the games, but instead he does it to the civilians. Nonetheless, He's alright. Robotnik has two henchmen right by his side, named Sleet and Dingo. Sleet is clearly the smart one of the two, and he's an alright character just like Robotnik. The first thing I recognized was the fact that this is the same voice actor that voices the Brain and Pinky and the Brain, which that's cool. Besides that, Sleet is just your typical henchman. Dingo's the dumb henchman, and that's pretty much it. That's how he acts in every episode. And while I don't think he's annoying, I just think it's an overdone trope. Now I know there's more characters like Bartleby, Cyrus, and many more, but they just come and go and it's kind of pointless to bring them up. So lastly, we're going to talk about the character who started all this, Queen Elena. Just like the intro says, she has to stay in the background to keep her kids safe. And I'm just like, it makes her character feel useless. She's just there to help out every once in a while, which is cool I guess, but I know next to nothing about this character because she's barely there. I don't think she's a bad character, but there's not much for me to judge. Wait, that's all the characters? I guess there wasn't that much for me to talk about, huh?
Okay.
Boy, Sonic Underground was a struggle, man. Firstly, this may come as a shock to you, but episodes are out of order. I'm talking badly out of order. Episode 30 feels like an earlier episode of the show, which after doing some research, this was actually the first episode that aired in France. So when Sonic Underground finally made it over here, episodes were aired grossly out of order. But surprisingly, I managed. The theme song was the only thing I remember from the show, and to this day I still think it slaps. Corny, yes, but it's catchy. While on the subject, the theme song is beautifully animated. Sonic, Sonia, and Manic have this smooth movement to them, and it looks great here. It makes you hyped to watch the show, which is funny to say because the animation in the actual show is crazy inconsistent. I lost count of the number of times the character's eyes disappeared, Sonic's arms turn blue, or even his medallion disappears for a few frames. Now I usually don't talk about inconsistencies in animation because it doesn't really hurt my experience most of the time, but Underground's animation is janky. Episode 14 shows Manic's hands without the gloves. That's like rule number 1. You can't do that, man.
Episode 8 is so wild. Like, look at Sonic eat that chili dog. That shit is not that good. Man, why is Sonic walking like that? This whole scene feels wrong.
If you look closely, Sonic and his siblings have medallions that give them extra power and lets them summon an instrument. Sonic has a guitar, Sonia has a keyboard, and Manic has a drum set. While they do use it for fighting, they also use it to sing songs in between episodes. And, these songs are bad. To make matters worse, the singing isn't all that great, so it's kind of hard to sit through these songs. So I skipped them. This might be unfair, but look, I don't want to listen to these songs, fam. Like, listen to this one. Sonic, Sonia, and Manic are the main trio we follow, but they are not a great team. I thought the team would be more likable over time, but Sonic is annoying as shit. Sadly, these episodes suffer from a lot of problems. Episodes go by quickly, but not in a good way. The first episode suffers from this the most. Even though there are 2 more parts after this episode feels rushed more than anything. We don't even get to see what all Robotnik did to conquer Mobotropolis. It just happens. We barely get to see the life of Sonic, Sonia, and Manic after their mother gave them away. Now after some research, I know why the episodes were written like this, but it's still kind of disappointing. That was all my notes. I just did that transition for nothing.
Well, that was quicker than expected. Guess that came tumbling down.
Timothy Reviews will be right back after these messages.
The South Side.
Like I said earlier, this show didn't get a second season, so this video won't be as long as you think. That being said, episode 1 sucks. In terms of setting things up, it's good, I guess, but this episode has pacing issues, which I already discussed earlier, so no need to repeat myself. This episode was so bad that I had to call one of my homeboys to let him know how bad my experience was. Overall, not a fan. Part 2 was alright, definitely paced better than the first episode. This episode is about the trio learning how to fight with both their instruments and their abilities. I forgot what the name was for this guy, but why does he look like that? And his voice does not fit this character.
Ah, you defend your brother.
The episode's fine, but the episode still has a few problems. I wasn't digging the chemistry between the main trio. I wasn't expecting them to be like buddy-buddy in the next episode, but at least have them grow to like each other because they spend most of the time arguing. There's also a part where Manic randomly feels like he's not good enough. That wouldn't be a problem, but it was quickly dropped, so it was kind of pointless. Overall, the episode was alright. Part 3 is where Sonic, Sonia, and Manic stop their training to help save the Oracle and a member of their resistance. This is where the trio is supposed to show off what they've learned up to this point. And while they do so, this episode was pretty disappointing. Yes, they do win in the end, but it doesn't feel like they learn anything. I guess I do like the ending where it turns out the Oracle was just fine and would have defended himself. Overall, this was a pretty weak 3-parter. I'm pretty sure if they had more time on their hands, we would have got something better, but for what we got, it wasn't all that great.
And through their willingness to help others, they have gained their powers.
And so it begins.
Alright, let's watch the rest of this bullshit.
Man, there are 40 episodes of the show, huh? I wonder if their mother would be found, just like the theme song said. Look, I'm trying to be funny, man. I gotta feed my kids.
Episode 5 is called Bobo Doom. This is where Sonic, Sonia, and Manic return home to try to see their mother. But they run into 2 problems. First, Manic wants to stay there, completely ignoring the fact that he has to save the world, and Sleeting Dingo follow behind the trio and attempts to destroy Mobile Doom. While I thought the episode was okay, the Manic storyline was pretty pointless, especially since it kinda came out of nowhere. Tangled Web is the introduction to Cyrus, who in this episode was used by Robotnik because he has his father. So all Cyrus has to do is play by Robotnik's rules and his father will be safe. The ending is sweet, but the episode is just okay. The animation was not the best here, if you know what I mean. Who Do You Think You Are is such a wild episode because there's low-key a part where they do something crazy offensive and I'm just sitting here like, this is Sonic Underground, you can't be doing stuff like this.
What the fuck?
And to make things worse, this episode was both meaningless and boring. A Hedgehog's Home in Sarcastle was a fine episode. There's not much going on in this one. I feel the same way about Sonic Tonic. It has an interesting plotline, mainly Sleet and Dingo being given the power to run as fast as Sonic, but the main side effect is that it makes their feet grow big. Hey, you know what they say, big feet, big... Timothy reviews, I guess. Anyway, this episode was fine. Episode 22's 3 Hedgehogs and a Baby is honestly a good episode. Robotnik wants to trick our trio into delivering a baby to Sanctuary, so Robotnik makes one.
Fam, it's the baby. You messed up.
That is some interesting character design. The baby is delivered to the trio and they quickly get the idea to deliver the baby to Sanctuary. What I like about this episode is how quickly attached Manic becomes to the baby. It's so sweet. While Manic is on his way to Sanctuary, Sonic and Sonia find out that the baby is a robot. So they rush their way to Manic and yeah, that didn't work out. Look, all jokes aside, this episode truly was not all that bad. I even enjoyed the fact that they made me sympathize for Manic. Even though the baby was fake, it's still kind of upsetting to see Manic cry. This episode was good. I'm surprised.
You okay, bro? I am now.
We have yet another 3-parter. I was hesitant at first seeing how they handled it the first time, but I still went in with open mind. Look, they got my boy Knuckles. I wonder how they made him sound.
I'm all anti-air.
Never mind, I'm not hyping anymore. So part 1 is where I was just joking. Robotnik has a new ship that uses the Chaos Emerald to give it power. So Sonic, Sonia, Manic, and Knuckles work together to capture the Emerald. Sleet and Dingo feel like they'll be replaced by Robotnik down the road, so they decided to steal the Chaos Emerald to prove that Robotnik does need them. Part 1 ends with Sleet and Dingo flying away with the Chaos Emerald. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm starting to like these later episodes. This episode in particular was not that bad. I thought this episode was fun. Part 2 continues with Sleet and Dingo, but quickly afterwards, Dingo portrays Sleet and takes the Emerald for himself. Then he breaks it. So that didn't last long, did it? Now it's up to the trio and Knuckles to help take the Emerald back before things get worse. They were told earlier that they had to team up with Robotnik, and of course they hesitate to listen, until the end of the episode where Knuckles realized that he must keep the Emerald safe. So at the last minute, he decides to team up with Robotnik.
I need Robotnik's help to find the Chaos Emerald and save Mobius. Take me to Robotnik.
I think the first part is better, but this isn't bad either. The last part is where Knuckles agrees to work with Robotnik, if he helps him find the Chaos Emeralds. In return, Robotnik asks for Sonic, Sonia, and Manic. This still doesn't last long, unsurprisingly, so Sonic and the gang find Dingo, who absorbs the power of the Emerald, and becomes whatever that is. Everyone works together up until Sonic and the gang dip at the last minute after they retrieve the Chaos Emerald from Dingo, who's back to normal now. And that's the final part of the episode. Even though the Knuckles part was a bit rushed, this was a solid 3-parter. I'm honestly impressed with this one. What's weird is that after this episode, Wedding Bell Blues seems to undo all of what happened earlier. Like I said, episodes are barely out of order, so this is one of the first few episodes of the show. Before doing my research, I was confused. Not only because this episode was out of order, it's the stuff that happens in the episode. Why does Robotnik have to pay for a wedding? He took over the world. And why does Robotnik want to marry a hedgehog? The less you question it, the better. Overall, the episode is pretty boring.
No sleep, please. When I'm alone, I get scared of the dark.
The other episodes are pretty pointless, so I guess we'll go to the final episode, huh?
This shit is pointless too.
Sonic and Manic play their VR game and they start to improve their pilot skills. After an attack on Robotnik, Robotnik hacks into Sonic and Manic's game, so they'll be stuck inside the game for like 5 minutes. Then Sony goes in to save the two. So yeah, this is the final episode. I'm pretty sure if the show was successful, it would have spawned a second season. Hypothetically speaking, let's say we got a second season. This was all around a weak way to end the season off. I'm happy they didn't do what Sonic Sat AM did, because that would have pissed me off. The episode had a neat premise, but it didn't fit a season finale. Not only that, this episode was hella straightforward, so there wasn't much to talk about. So they made a vow. Was their mother foul? No! I just watched this bullshit for nothing.
Game over, Buttnik.
Sonic Underground, wanted for fun.
Sonic Underground, weekday mornings at 6 on WB20.
We drink because it's what men do.
Look, I went to Sonic Underground wanting to love this shit. I spent 2 weeks watching the show hoping that something would click for me. But sadly, I just think the show's alright. There's only like 5 episodes out of the 40 that were awful, but the rest were passable. I don't like making videos on things I don't like all that much, but I got far in my notes and I didn't want them to go to waste. Anyways, the show was just okay. I can see the potential in some of these concepts, but they didn't truly deliver. I didn't like the main trio for the majority of the show. The animation was rough in some areas, Robotnik wasn't all that menacing, and the music was just bad. I'm not hating on anyone who finds enjoyment in the show. I'm just saying, even though the show wasn't as bad as critics say, it's not worth my time.